Clairemont daycare provider is facing nearly 30 years in prison after admitting to shaking a baby to death. Today, James Nemeth changed his plea to guilty just one day before he was set to go to trial for the death of 11-month-old Louis Oliver. Nemeth's family members even testified against him, saying that he had a temper around kids. He is expected to be sentenced next month to more than 29 years in prison. And new at 7, 10 News reporter Kristen Keogh talked to a psychologist about what to look for if you're worried about your own child's safety at a daycare. Kristen.
Yeah, Steve, tonight we're at a beautiful daycare in North Park called Urban Toddler. It's clean, it's fully staffed, but sometimes that's not the case, and it's the things you can't see that could be unsafe.
It helps us kind of go on to the next stage, which is to not have our son's death be in vain.
Michael Oliver and his wife Christina want all allegations against a daycare provider to be available to the public after losing their son Louis.
We always include him in our prayers at night.
The Olivers say CPS investigated allegations against his son's killer, James Nemeth, before he took his son to the daycare. A former employee there told investigators she called Child Protective Services after seeing Nemeth push a boy and press his nose against the wall. None of that was on record.
My mistake was not talking to the current parents that were at the daycare.
We asked child psychologist Deborah Pontillo what to watch for if you're worried about what's happening at your child's daycare. She said to look for a sudden change in your child's behavior and even drop in when you can.
Sometimes if you can go in with the child and watch the child for a little bit, for half an hour while they're in the daycare setting, to see how comfortable they are with the providers, how they interact.
Do so periodically, and if you have a child who's old enough to talk, it's okay to ask them about what goes on when you're not around.
And you can leave it fairly open-ended so that they can generate their own responses and just provide them a lot of feedback.
The Olivers want you to know what they didn't before all they had were memories.
We try to keep that positive for our children and for us.
And the Olivers told me today that their first step in making changes will be to contact their representative, Chris Kate, and go from there. Live in North Park tonight, I'm Kristen Keogh, 10 News.